Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. We are doing a Batwoman review tonight because I wanted to do my charm stream, but I live in Tennessee, and right now the state next to me, which is Mississippi, is having a tornado warning. I think they actually spotted a tornado on the ground. They said it was 60 miles per hour in winds. So they shut everything off on our cable network. So every station is talking about the storm that technically I don't think we're getting. So I was able to watch Batwoman from 7 to 8, but I was only able to watch about 10 minutes of Charmed. I didn't want to do like a half-ass review of it. So unfortunately, I'm going to do that one tomorrow. But that means I'm going to be doing my Batwoman review today. I normally do that on Monday. So I'm just kind of reversing it for this week. So Batwoman Season 2, Episode 6. Called Do Not Resuscitate. Good episode. I'm actually really liking, for the most part, what's happening in Batwoman Season 2 so far. There are some things I'm nitpicking, and I'll probably nitpick them in this, as well, because it did happen again. But for the most part, I am really digging what they're doing for Season 2. So basically, in this episode, we get another comic villain. His name is Aaron Helsinger. And if you've read the comics, you know that he actually is Amygdala, and he's ventriloquist. If you look at the comic books, he's actually the ex-partner of ventriloquist. Like, they were in Arkham Asylum together. They've done a lot of, I won't say a lot. He's not a huge player. He's like this overpowered, huge inflated giant that Batman fought a lot and beat the crap out of, kind of like he does with most people except for Bane for some reason, because Bane seems to be like able to break Batman's back when, it's completely strange to me. But anyway, very minor character, but someone who's very present when Batman is committed to Arkham Asylum. And I think there was I want to say actually some Justice League action with him too, but he is the ventriloquist's ex-partner. So that's where he is in the comics. So it's very interesting that they chose to put him in this episode. But I guess it served its purpose. I think his entire purpose was to have a way for Jacob to find Mary's lab, or clinic, should I say. They needed a way for him to have a reason to be there. And that reason is we found out that Hamilton Winters is doing like inhumane experiments. They are taking the blood from this cute little boy who had leukemia and then putting it into an older man or an elderly man who also has leukemia to see if the Desert Rose properties would be able to cure him like it did the little boy. And unfortunately, he dies and almost instantly. He starts bleeding and he dies. And the head doctor wants to do more experiments, which are completely insane. So he's the one that goes to Helsinger's room and, basically gives him a mission to go find this cure, because Helsinger in this, he talks about his amygdala being messed up, meaning he can't feel emotions like a normal person. So things like seeing a puppy die or, children cry make him laugh. So he doesn't have control over it. He feels nothing, basically. And he wants it to stop. And then they ran experiments on him to try and fix it, and they give him brain cancer, which are pressing on his amygdala. So he really wants this cure. So they basically set this wild dog on Jacob and Mary, and Jacob and Mary are coming back from the lawyers who are trying to convince Jacob to declare Kate dead so they can take her estate. Because I think it was worth like $3 million or something. And so obviously Mary's like, that's full of crap. And then they get hit by a truck that Helsinger is driving, and he kidnaps them. So yeah, he takes them to her medical facility, and that's when he starts interrogating them about, or at least with Mary, about the Desert Rose. And she basically has to reveal all of this stuff in front of Jacob that he didn't know about his third daughter, which is interesting. I'll get back to that in a second. Simultaneously, Ryan is not doing well with her kryptonite poisoning at all. She is losing it. Like, it's getting worse. She actually breaks down during a fight and apparently showed up at Angelique's place, and she takes her to, the Gotham, City Hospital. And what's interesting is how real this is. So she's at the hospital waiting for hours. As somebody who has a medical condition where I'm in the hospital sometimes, I'm telling you that the ER is like this. You were sitting there for hours and hours and hours just to see a doctor. And apparently they've been there for 2. And of course, Angelique like kind of goes off and then starts using stats about, if this black woman dies, it's going to be, she starts throwing like, really random facts at this one guy to kind of freak him out to find her attendee. And then he finally gets there. And this is another part of the medical world that is free, or that's true, should I say. I'm very relatable. I have very good insurance, but so apparently Ryan has insurance now, maybe through the holdup. I don't know. Maybe Mary gives her a little insurance plan that she has a job, but apparently it doesn't cover blood work at the ER. Now, I don't want to say that this is 100% false, though I do think that they will actually do the blood work and then bill you, and then you just own your soul and your kidneys to them because medical bills are no joke in the States. But I actually have witnessed personally myself in hospitals of tests that people needed to have and they didn't do because they didn't have insurance. So it is actually a problem. So I am glad that they kept that in there, but it's interesting that Angelique discovered it. I will say when Angelique got a call and she just kind of left, like she said, I'll cover it. And then she's like, I got to go. I'm like, did she pay for the blood tests on the way out? But then we get the blood results later. So I guess she did. And what we learned from Ryan's blood is that she has the same level of radiation as somebody who was in the Chernobyl, accident, horror, whatever you want to call it. It's a horror. So same level of radiation as a Chernobyl victim. Because kryptonite poisoning, guys, is no joke. And I keep thinking, what in the hell didn't you tell Mary earlier? Why? But I get it. And she does explain it when she has her confrontation with Luke later on. So I'll get back to that in a minute. So basically her poisoning is bad. And speaking of Angelique, so Sophie they realized that the Napier painting is not real. It's pig's blood. We already discovered this last week because Luke, found this information to kind of revealed it last week. So now the crows know. So Sophie wants to find this ocean guy that the forgery was traced to, which of course is who Alice is with. And she wants to do this by using like this high frequency device that allows you to, when it's installed on the phone, allows the phone to become like a microphone and a camera, basically. And so she goes to Ryan because she knows that Ryan is back with, Angelique. I guess pretty much everyone knows this information. And she tells Ryan, she can help her put this on Angelique's phone, or she can put her girlfriend in jail for basically going back into drugs and selling snake bite and all this other stuff. That she has a rap sheet. I think it's like a file this thick on her. So she's blackmailing Ryan to turn on her girlfriend. But at the same time, Ryan's trying to get Angelique to stop doing what she's doing. So it's kind of like Ryan's mad that Sophie's forcing her to do it. But at the same time, she herself is trying to force her girlfriend to stop doing what she's doing and go on the straight and narrow. She even tries to get her a job at the holdup. And of course, Angelique's like, I like what I do, get over it pretty much. But she does end up doing, basically putting it on her phone, which backfires at the end, but it is what it is. So honestly, guys, in terms of the whole Ryan and Angelique thing, I really want Angelique to just go away. I understand it. Ryan feels like there was nobody in her life that knows her besides her mother that was killed like Angelique. So this is her last connection to somebody who she feels is like a family. And Ryan wants a family. So I want her to get closer to Mary. And I'm really confused on, they live together, they're roommates, but yeah, for some reason, I guess Angelique's always at their place. Where is Mary? Like is Mary just sleeping at the clinic? I'm really confused on how that works. But I really want them to become BFFs. I have no idea if they're going to have something more than that later on, but because I don't know Mary's sexuality, but I really need Ryan to make at the most, BFF, most important person connection with Mary. Because I think Mary needs that too. These are two women who are lonely as hell. And we learned that from Mary when she's talking to Jacob, even in this episode, how he was like, he didn't understand that, how he didn't know that, his own daughter was running, underground medicine in this clinic. And she's like, well, you were consumed looking for Beth. You were consumed starting the Crows. Now you're consumed looking for Kate. It's never been about me. And so that just tells me right now, her mom's dead. The person that's her father figure never has time for her. Her and Ryan are essentially the same. They just don't realize it. So I really need them to pick up on that because I think that would be a really good friendship. But yeah, so While all this is going on, we're back to Ocean and Alice and their memories that have been taken. And they know, especially Alice is 100% convinced that Sophia took all of their memories of each other, but left everything else. And so they have this little banter. Ocean still isn't as far in the memory process as she is, but remember in the last episode, she saw herself kissing Ocean. So she knows that something happened. So she puts two and two together and she's like, I think we had a relationship. And Sophia didn't like it. And that's why she took our memories. And Ocean's like, well, I wanted to leave and I wanted to take the Desert Rose and I left. And she's like, well, maybe you didn't go by yourself, which would make sense because Alice has had the Desert Rose. So I think that's what happened. They plan on taking the Desert Rose to sell it and make a life together and go on the run. And Sophia found out and then just wiped their memories. But when Sophia is talking to Alice, she did say something that was interesting. And something I said in my last review is that I thought Alice was made worse because of Sophia's brainwashing, like in the comics, how she brought Alice back and trained her to be a heartless, like soulless killer. And I have a feeling that that is exactly what Sophia did. She said, I made it possible for you to put a knife in a man. So we know that all of the captivity that she endured with Mouse made her crazy. We understand that seeing her mother's head in that little refrigerator / freezer thing, seeing that her mother's head had been there the entire time, seeing, Mouse's grandmother with her mother's earrings and necklace on, or I guess it's the earrings, drove her to set the house and the grandmother on fire. We get that. I mean, honestly, I don't know how I would react if I actually saw my mother's head in the fridge. I mean, I probably want to burn everybody down too. But I think that she was not as much of a soulless sociopathic killer until she went to Coriana and Sophia did what she did. So in retrospect, Alice was actually created by Sophia because that's exactly what happened when she was kidnapped by Sophia and brainwashed and turned into Alice again and made worse than she ever was originally. So I really hope they play on that because that would be very interesting. Especially since I know Ryan and her are going to have it out or have this, like, there's going to be like this entire, like, Ryan thinks she's dying, so I might as well just take Alice with me type scenario, which I'm down for because I saw the preview and I'm like, yeah, I really want to see this fight. But I really think, and I don't know how I feel about it, but I feel like they're slightly doing a sort of redemption arc for Alice, or at the most, they're trying to make her more human to us, even though she's done horrible things. So I think that's what's happening with that. She ends up doing something that I already knew she was going to do it because this is what Alice does. She makes a face and puts it on a body and then basically shows it to, or doesn't show it, but tells Sophia she's going to bring it to her when the real Ocean is actually still alive. So he's seeing just kind of how loony she actually is and how crazy she can be. But he doesn't seem not turned on by it, and that kind of worries me too. So yeah, Sophia and Alice are going to go to Coriana, which is going to be interesting. Now, they did have the Napier painting because we saw him have the tube with the painting in it at the end of the last episode. Well, Sophie finds Ocean. She pulls a gun on them. He does this really cool lighter trick where all of the real blood, like the Napier, which is a Joker painting, all the blood comes off. And then we see the actual map of Coriana. And as soon as I realized that Sophie had this map, I knew she was going to lose it because that is what happens in this show. It can't be that easy. So, she gets the call to go help Jacob and Mary, and she has the painting with her. And I'm like, as soon as I realized she was going to rescue them, I already knew. I already effing knew that painting was gone. It was gone. Because that's it. That is like a formula for the CW. If it's important and there's only one of them and you desperately need it, something's going to happen to it. So instead of her taking her cell phone and taking a picture of this damn painting, like anybody in the digital age would do, no, she just loses the painting. And I guess some people can say, well, she was in a hurry to go rescue her boss and Mary, but no, she should have actually known what show she was on and just took a picture of it, because all she needed was the map. And she didn't need the painting. She just needed the map that was in the painting. Take a picture of it. They take the painting. She still has a digital print of this painting. They've got the map. And she could have even uploaded it to the cloud. So if something happened, she should have been like this. I think I got to go in there and I'm not going to give them the painting, but let me go ahead and take this picture just in case. That is smart. I don't know why they didn't make Sophie smart this season, but it's really irritating me. Just like there's some interaction with Ryan and her, where Ryan's like, "Have you ever been in love?" And she's like, "Yes." And she's like, "Well, unlike you, I fight for what I love," which is true. Sophie was in the closet, so she was scared, so she didn't fight for Kate, but she's doing it now, and so Sophie couldn't really, they're kind of not making Sophie stand up for herself more, which is interesting because she had no problem standing up for herself anywhere else, especially with Julia, who I don't think we're ever going to see again. So, long story short, though, Luke finds out about the whole kryptonite poisoning because, of course, Mary phones Luke asking for the map of Coriana because she tells, Aaron, our Hellsinger, that she knows where the island is to get, more Desert Rose, because she said she can't get it. He can't take it from her because once the second blood is drawn or second generation blood is drawn, then the Desert Rose is no longer in your blood. So the bag that she had that saved everybody in Gotham was the last bit of Mary's blood that contained the Desert Rose, and it cannot be synthesized. So you have to go get it from the source, which is, of course, the island of Coriana. But she lies and says she has a map. She calls Luke and says, "Bring the map like a bat out of hell," which is a sign that she's in trouble. But that at that point, Ryan's already in pain and having issues. Now, this is where it gets a little nitpicky for me. I understand that the Bat team is trying to be a Bat team, and I agree with all angles. Like, Luke is still trying to desperately find Kate. Ryan still feels like she's having to prove herself as Batwoman all the time to Luke. And it's like, one moment she's laying her head on his shoulder, the next minute she's back to, "You don't trust me. I mean, I'm trying to prove to be just half as good as Kate." And I'm like, but you just got this suit. You just became Batwoman. Nobody is going to be on the level of someone overnight. And let's be fair, Kate wasn't at Batman's level, even, in season one, end of season one, she was still learning. So like, it's interesting that the whole banter between Ryan and Luke, even last week when she was like, "I'm out there taking the hits and taking the bullets and risking my life, so listen to me," and, her respect me. And I'm like, you have to earn that, and it has to go on both sides. You can't just instantly be a team. I mean, it's just something that I really wish they would write better, because it's getting repetitive and it's getting on my nerves. It's like, I understand you guys are having problems trusting each other. You're still learning about each other. Her saying that Luke needs to have her back for once. Well, honestly, if Luke wasn't at that computer, Baby Doll would be screwed. I mean, because she can't find anybody. So like, I gotta say something about that, because I am, guys, when I review things, I nitpick. If Luke walked away tomorrow, Mary can't work that computer. Ryan can't work that computer. There is no Batwoman. He handles the tech. She can't do any of the stuff without him. So it's not that he hasn't had her back. She hasn't had his respect. They really should have worded that differently. So stuff like that just bothers me. But then again, the Luke Fox in Batwoman CW verse is not the Luke Fox we know from the comics, because that conversation would have gone very differently, because that Luke don't play. So, but it is what it is. I do like the show. The whole bantering between Ryan and Luke kind of bothers me sometimes. It's like, okay, I get it. You're not happy with him. He's still missing Kate, so not 100% accepting you. But there is a way to have a conversation without it being to this level. And yeah, I don't think that Ryan realizes just how much she needs Luke, and vice versa. So just throwing that out there. But anyway, she really got upset when she found out that they were getting information from Alice and not calling the cops. And then I wanted to say, but I'm also upset that you're not calling the cops on your girlfriend who's out there smoking and peddling the drug you're beating people up on the streets over. Semantics. But she does end up fighting Hellsinger and taking him out. She hits him. She actually gets an adrenaline shot from Luke that he tells her about. And she manages to use that to just hit him. It's a really, really fast scene. But then, of course, Sophie gets taken hostage. And of course, it's Sophia's, private army. And they want the map, because they always seem to know where that damn map is. I don't know what it is, but they always seem to know where the map is. And like, it really bothers me, because I mean, it's almost like she was the one that was kind of tagged, as she was tagging Angelique. It almost feels like she was the one they had a tracer on, because I understand that they are the many of arms and they are supposed to be like this elite force, and Sophie is now in control of them. But I mean, damn, they got there fast. But I knew they would, because somebody had to get that damn map. And I thought it was so interesting that Ryan was like, she frees Jacob and Mary, and Jacob's like, I'm not letting one of my crows, there, one of my agents there. And then of course Ryan's like, I'll protect her, I promise. And she does, at the cost of the map potentially saving her own life and finding Kate. And Sophie was like, don't give him that map. But again, I blame Sophie for this, because all Sophie had to do in this episode was take a damn picture. She didn't even need to take the map from them. She should have said, let me just take a digital image of this and I'm out. I don't care what you do with this painting at this point. I got the copy. I've uploaded it. I've emailed it across to the crows, whoever. I got it. I have no idea why we had to go ancient, archaic, old style and not take a digital photo on our cell phone of this freaking, of this freaking map. So that is my biggest nitpick for this episode, was that there's no digital print for this. This would have been all 100% accessible to everyone had she just taken a damn picture with her phone. But whatever. So very, very good episode, guys. It was a good episode. Like I said, I like that they incorporate smaller characters in this, because I mean, Amygdala's not a big villain. If I had to rate him on an ABC scale, he's a C villain. He's not major. I mean, his biggest confrontations with Batman, I believe, were like when they were both committed and Batman beat his butt and then he beat his butt again somewhere else. And I mean, it's just like, but it was like it was really, really quick. It wasn't like this epic battle. So like just having, extreme anger management guy in this episode is interesting. I mean, I got to appreciate the fact that the CW or Arrowverse does kind of make very minor characters bigger than they are. And then you actually draw more attention to these characters that you probably would have never looked at twice in the comics themselves. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, overall, I was very impressed with this episode. Other than my little nitpicks, I am absolutely excited for next week, because again, the kryptonite, like whoever did the makeup for this episode is great, because that wound looks gross and it's pulsating and it's just gross. And I really want to know, I really, really want to know what they're going to do to offset it. Which honestly, if I'm just throwing this out here, guys, why don't they call and they're supposed to be on the same Earth now, right? Why don't they call the DEO? Alex is, she's also a scientist, or, because I mean, that's technically speaking, Kate was flying to meet Kara to talk about giving, if they could destroy the little kryptonite in the first place. Why not call them and say, hey, we got kryptonite poisoning. Do you have something for that? Can you send it to us? Help us. Why do we need to have the Desert Rose in the first place? Why can't we go to where there's a Kryptonian? I understand Supergirl's season isn't started yet, but I mean, come on. You could have one of them just pop in as a guest star, fly over to Gotham with the antidote and shoot, Ryan up. That's just me, throwing an idea out there. Why isn't this happening? I mean, heck, you don't even have to have Alex fly over there. You could just send the vial and Mary can just inject it. Just saying. Just saying. Because, I mean, between Lena and Alex, they could find a cure for somebody who was shot with a kryptonite bullet. Just throwing it out there. Okay, so let's see. Hi, Ray Alexander. How are you doing? Only Late had those connections to the league. Only Kate had those connections. Okay, Kate did have the connections to the league, but it doesn't mean that Luke can't figure out. I mean, she said, I'm going to see Kara. It's pretty easy to find Kara, in National City. Luke is a hacker. Not an issue. I mean, I just feel like that would have been a really good, to me, that would have been a really great way of saving Ryan without relying on the Desert Rose, because God knows how long it's going to take them to get to Coriana. And it doesn't seem like Ryan has that kind of time. But of course, she is headlining this show. We know she's not going to die. So they're going to do something. But I just think that would have been a very interesting way of saving her life. But yeah, That's just me, guys. I want to throw it out there because I really feel like if I was writing this show, that's the route I would have gone to. Luke could reach out to Kara and say, "Hey, we actually have a replacement for Kate right now, and she was shot with a kryptonite bullet. We know that you had this kryptonite. What can we do to save Ryan? Why not reach out to the DEO or Kara and ask these questions? If you question the plot, they'll make it worse." No, I'm not. So, when I have the turnout on my channel, me and him both have one thing in common. We both are screenwriters. So I majored in film, minored in theater. And one of the things I specialized in was screenwriting. So whenever I say these, it's basically, I look at it and I'm like, this is how I would write this. I would write it so that even if you can't get anybody in the cast right now from Supergirl to do a cameo because of COVID, to have them send over their research or a vial or something to counteract the kryptonite poisoning. It doesn't have to cure it. It could literally be something that they get from Lena Luthor at National City because Kara has this connection, and they go to Kara because they knew Kate was going to meet Kara. And she says, this is not a cure, but this will help with the symptoms and maybe long enough for us to figure something out or to, basically, or for them to get the Desert Rose, keeping her in the fighting form until, they're able to cure her. That's how I would write it. I don't know if this is how the CW is going to write it. Because again, the biggest blunder of this episode, which I've said 5 times already, is that Sophie did not take a picture on her phone of that damn painting. That is all she had to do. That is all she had to do was take a picture of it. I wish Batwoman had the same stunt people in fight coordination because so far the fights are lacking. I agree. That fight with Amagdala, my brain just went. Amagdala was pretty. It was fast. It was fast, and then, but I'm wondering if the reason the fight scenes are lacking a little bit because I heard that Javicia Leslie is actually a martial artist, so maybe it's because she's supposed to be, affected by this kryptonite poisoning, so she's not as effective. I don't know, but I will say that the fight in the alley which was okay. And then the fight with Amagdala was very lacking. Like it was very quick. It was very, very quick. So I will say that. I love Ryan as a social warrior for the marginalized and has a perspective as a superhero that's unique. However, she needs help. She is way behind the curve in the Bat family. I agree. Well, to be fair, she's a made-up character and she's just now in the Bat family. And just now, I think her first issue was either issue 68 or 69 of Batgirl. So considering they just put her in the comics, she has a little leeway, just a little bit, because she wasn't trained by Batman. She didn't get to be a sidekick of Batman. She has no connection to Batwoman. Technically, she does for some reason in the comics, she does a little bit, but not in a superhero capacity. So there's that. I will say something else we learned is that plant that she's had for 5 years came from her girlfriend, from Angelique. So she's been taking care of the plant of her ex-girlfriend that she went to jail for and apparently broke her heart. Yeah. Batgirl is the best brawler in the family. Please help your girl Barbara or Oracle. I mean, yeah. I will never get over how Barbara got paralyzed. I think I even have that comic. I think like the stills from what Joker did was so effed up. Oh, so effed up. Let's see here. How do you think of Ryan as Batwoman? A Batwoman. Do you think her fight skills are up to par? Okay, so when she got cast as Ryan Wilder, they showed a video. I don't remember if it was on YouTube or if I saw it on Instagram, but she actually is really good at martial arts. And I used to do Taekwondo for years, like years. So I appreciate people's form and I appreciate the dedication it takes to, learn different, fighting and choreography and stunt coordination and things like that. What I think is happening with her is that she's not, and this could be a budget thing. It could be they're trying to make her start off as not being as well equipped to take on the Batwoman mantra when she's fighting, because it does seem like even though her character is supposed to be like, I guess, a martial arts instructor, she doesn't fight to the level of anybody in the Bat women or Bat family that we've ever seen. Now, Ruby Rose is kind of wooden too. I'm going to be real with you. Kate Kane's fighting skills were interesting. But I always felt like they made the people that they trained in the stunt department, like the villains and the thugs or the, whoever she was fighting, a lot worse than Kate Kane to make her look better. And I feel like they're not doing that with Ryan. I feel like because Ryan has actual fighting skills that they're just like putting her against people that can fight. And it's just in the translation, it just looks like it's lacking. But again, this could be a play off her kryptonite, poisoning. They could be like, okay, well, she's getting weaker because she is getting weaker every episode. She's getting worse. But I'm with you, Kevin. I actually expect to have a lot better fight scenes, and I'm really hoping that we do. I'm giving her a little leeway though, because we're still early in the season. It's only episode 6. It may get better, especially when she doesn't have this kryptonite poisoning anymore. It might get better. Fingers crossed. Now, if it doesn't after that, then it's just the CW writing, guys. You know how it is. I mean, it is hit or miss. Sometimes they can write great content, have everything hitting where you want it to hit. And then other times you're like, what in the hell am I watching? So, I mean, it just really depends on, who's writing it. If they have a round, because they do seem to rotate a lot of writers out, like even directors, it seems like, per episode. So I don't know. But I agree with you. I can't argue with the fact that the fight scenes are not that great. They're just not. I feel like the actress is a far better fighter than the character, and because Kate did the darn thing. You said that. Yep. I mean, they made Ruby Rose look good. They made her. It was very obvious she did not have fighting skills before that. I think she's been training a lot now. And somebody told me she was in the John Wick movie. I don't know if it was 2 or whatever, but I know for a fact, even though she does a lot of action movies, she was not trained in martial arts that I've ever researched or seen. So I think that they literally do the thing where they make the lead look better than they actually are. And with Ryan's, because she does have those skills, they don't have to, but that also means that they're not giving her material to work with in terms of choreography. I feel like the only reason Black Lightning and Stargirl are so good writing wise is because they were filmed in Georgia and use a different company. I absolutely agree with that. Oh my gosh. I really want, and this is going to sound horrible because I effing love Black Lightning, but I really want them to move Gotham to Freeland because it will look so much better than what they have in Gotham, because Gotham does not look like a bad place to live. I'm gonna be real with you. When we have like the narration starts with the radio personality who's always talking crap and kind of snarky, but you see the city, it looks like New York. It looks just like New York. It doesn't look like how you would imagine a kind of a community of poverty or generational poverty and, people that are almost destitute in half the city would be in. Like Freeland, I mean, outside of Black Lightning's neighborhood, Freeland looks like shit. I'm like, and that is where Gotham needs to be. It needs to be where they filmed Black Lightning. They need to move production to Georgia. That's what I'm saying. When are we going to get Black Mask? Probably the last 4 episodes of the season, because that's what they do. Come on now. They don't reveal the big baddie till later in the game. At this point, I feel like Ryan's relying more on her suit than any other Bat family member, with the exception of Terry. I can subscribe to that. I agree with that. Yeah. Gotham looks very clean. I don't get it. For a city that has no money, whose police force is underfunded, their hospitals are overcrowded, they don't have a lot of jobs. I mean, that is a really clean city. I mean, it's just very clean. The CW writing is interesting, to say the least. It is. I'm so sad I can't do a charm review tonight too, guys. I've never not done a charm review the same night it airs. This is very odd for me. I feel weird. I feel ill. I feel like I'm having heat issues. But like, because of the storm in the next state, like when I say storm, it actually is more serious than that. They have a F2 tornado warning. It's been spotted on the ground. It's rotating 60 miles per hour winds. So if that hits, then a lot of people can potentially lose their homes or their lives. So I understand why they cut everything off. But I mean, I got to see all of Batwoman, and I got to see the first 10 minutes of Charmed. And then everything all the news went to the tornado. And it's still on. I mean, I hear it in the other room. So I didn't get to see Charmed at all tonight. So I got to wait for it to get on demand. I'm sorry, guys. No, I love talking about Charmed on Sunday nights, but I'm doing it at 11 a.m. tomorrow, Central Standard Time. So if you're able to catch it, that's awesome. Unless I have no power, because sometimes we do end up getting the storms that the other people, we don't get their storms, but you get like the straight winds, and sometimes we lose power, but hopefully we won't have that. So we'll see, fingers crossed. Freeland needs to be gentrified. They need to get Rainbow up and bring property values up so the subordinates moving, because the gang war after the SA, it ain't it. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna have to do another Black Lightning stream. I can see this. There's a lot I have to say about what's going on in Black Lightning and Freeland, but I will tell you this. Tobias is a great character because he pisses me off in all the right ways and he causes so much crap. Lala, on the other hand, is a flaming idiot. That's all I'm going to say. I came because I was hoping for your Charm review. I know, Ray. I'm sorry. Now, the thumbnail should have showed you that this was Batwoman. I'm like, the title should have told you that this was Batwoman. But no, I really like, when I say that I was in it, I can tell you, I'm not sure if I'm spoiling anything, but the last scene I saw from Charmed, which I believe was 10 minutes, is when Macy and Mel were talking and you saw Swan. And Swan was standing 5 to 6 feet away from Macy. And one of the things I want to say about that is she magical? Because they're making it seem like if she never is in contact with them, like up close, this could be a COVID thing, but if she's not up close to Macy, that is a problem. And then the other thing, mark these questions that I have, guys, because this is tomorrow's conversation. We're not going to talk about it here. But also, how is Jordan able to be around Harry when Maggie specifically said that her being around somebody who's even magically cursed is impossible, and they got blasted across the room from each other? How is Harry able to touch Jordan? Those are two questions that I already got, and I've only watched 10 minutes of the show. So it's going to be a good stream. But that's tomorrow's stream. Ryan needs more training when she gets the kryptonite out of her system. Yes, I agree with that. I absolutely agree. I think that it is a disservice for Ryan not to have the same level of training because, yes, she's a martial arts instructor, but I mean, let's be fair. Kate had a lot more training, not only in West Point, but outside of that. So just saying. Let's see. Oops, they forgot about Jordan's score. But you can't do that because they have people like us that are watching. Can't be doing that. Can't state lines directly and then do some stuff like that. No, sir. Let's see. Tobias is the best villain. I'm gonna give you that. Tobias, man, because you never know. And just the way he talks, even knows he's up to no good. It's smooth. It's just like, man, man. Medea Motor try. I want Macy to level up. Yeah. But don't spoil the episode if you've seen it, because I haven't seen but the first 10 minutes. So I need to watch it so I can get a clear mind of what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But those are the two things that stood out to me. I'm serious, guys. I was just like, wait, what? Who is Ocean supposed to be from the comics? He is not from the comics. He is made up for the series like Ryan. He is not a real character. Let's see here. Tobias is a Lex level villain. I love him. Hell, Tobias is better than Lex because Lex gets beaten down, and yes, he comes up with nefarious plans. But Tobias, I mean, you just can't kill this man, and he has contingency plans even when he's being tortured. When they had him in the lab and they were torturing him, he was still coming up with a way to blackmail Lynn to get him out. I mean, this man is a genius. He is a genius. Ocean is from Fortnite. I mean, I don't play Fortnite, but sure. I know he's not a DC Comics character. Now, weather bad, I gotta wait till 1 a.m. CW app. Yeah, that's how it is here. I mean, it literally, like, it was on a roll. Like, it literally stopped right when they were talking to Swan. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then it just went. And I get it. It's very serious. So they took everything off of CW. So yeah, but at least I got to see Batwoman. I did not get to see Ella Charm. So Lex is one of the smartest men in DC universe. One of them, not the smartest. I personally think Mr. Terrific is smarter than Lex Luthor, and I can actually name a slew of others that are smarter than Lex Luthor. He just has more money. Like he has Bruce Wayne level money. To be fair, so does Oliver Queen, but Oliver Queen is not as bright as most people. So Oliver Queen was definitely built up by the Arrowverse because he certainly was not all that in the comics. He has some very good comics, but he, in terms of Justice League, is not. He's considered a B character in the Justice League. So I think that's what, like I said earlier, that's what the Arrowverse do. They take these like lesser known or obscure characters, or even where Green Arrow is concerned, they take these characters that people do know but are like the laughing stock or the joke of the comic world, and then they build them up and give them their own shows and make them bigger than they are. So yeah. What are your thoughts on the Avatar news? I think I must have missed the Avatar news, so post it and I'll let you know what my thoughts are. They did Mr. Terrific so dirty in Arrow. Yes, they did. That is not the Mr. Terrific that I know. I think I say this all the time. I've said this with Blurred. Blurred said this a million times. Blurred Without Fear is who I'm talking about. I'm telling you, Mr. Terrific in the comics does not. There's no universe where Green Arrow ever talks to Mr. Terrific like he did in the Arrowverse. No, never. My gripes with the Pierce family is that they are not slick. How many families in Freeland have those body types and family makeups? And also, how does a mask obscure their whole face better, yet goggle shade? Look, I've been saying this crap since Superman was taking his glasses off and on. We don't understand stupidity. Like, it just seems to be there. I don't get it. I don't understand. There's not one universe. If my spouse walked into this room and took out any, like, glasses, hat, anything, I would still know who the hell my spouse was because it's the same face and the same voice. I mean, it's not rocket science. Whenever I used to watch Lois and Clark, remember that old one when Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher? I thought that was absolutely ridiculous because Superman had brown eyes in that and looked half Asian. And it was pretty freaking, distinctive looking. And you mean to tell me nobody knew he was Superman when he took his glasses off? No. No. Lois can't be that smart is all I'm saying. What a reporter. Well, in Smallville, they did it differently. They made it so she was the one that came up with that, costume. And I guess everybody else is just dumb. And I'm talking about the original Smallville. But yeah, in the comics, I guess back in the 60s, maybe they just thought people weren't as intelligent when Superman was very popular. I know he started in the 40s, but like the 60s, 70s, they're like, people will buy this crap. And then the 80s are like, well, we did this now. Let's just keep running with it. And then it just became a thing. But I'm sorry. If I take this hat off, I'm still going to be me. Put it back on, I'm still going to be me. If I put my glasses on, you're still going to know it's me. So yeah, unless you take your glasses off and your hair turns a different color, your eyes turn a different color, and you have your features morph a little bit, I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. I feel like we're going to get a teaser of Batwing by the end of the season, but the only thing is who's going to make the suit? Yeah. I wonder if we'll get other. I wonder if they'll bring Alfred because Julia is there. But then again, I don't know. I wonder if we're keeping Julia because without her being with Sophie, there's no reason for her to be there. But what I think is going to happen is when they realize Kate's not coming back to Gotham, because they got to come up with a reason why she's not coming back, because she is alive. Because Carolyn Dreyer, who is queer, she's a lesbian, says that she doesn't believe in the kill off your gay tropes, which is why she didn't kill off Kate Kane. So when Kate decides that she doesn't want to be Batwoman anymore for whatever reason, or she can't be Batwoman anymore for whatever reason, Sophie's going to have to do this thing, either leaving with Kate or moving the heck on. So there's that. Unless his dad is working on a suit, but he had to do that. Maybe Luke will actually be able to make suits at that point because he did modify Kate's suit. Never know. I miss Alana and Chloe. They were Smallville and Chloe, like Oracle and Command and the mission coordinator. I loved Smallville the later seasons, but I'm gonna tell you now that I know that the actress who plays Chloe was like involved in like sex slavery and stuff. It's hard for me to watch it. Like every time I see Chloe, I'm like, oh, you're evil in real life. It's very hard. But I will tell you, Erica Durance as Lois is still my favorite Lois Lane. I'm still warming up to Bitsy as in Superman and Lois as Lois. I don't know what it is, but something about her just kind of bothers me. I don't know what it is. I don't dislike her, but I don't like her as Lois. But she may grow on me. I'm on the fence. I did not really care for her Lois portrayal in Crisis. I didn't care for her in Elseworlds that much. I felt like she was actually trying to be more Erica Durance because there's only one Erica Durance Lois, and original Smallville Lois was on point. And honestly, if this had been Tom Welling and Erica Durance and Superman and Lois with this film quality, I would have been all over that crap. But Tyler's not bad as Superman. He didn't do a bad job in his little flashback when he's imitating Brandon Routh's version and Christopher Reeve's version of Clark, a little mousy Clark to Superman. So I can't hate on it, but at the same time, Erica Durance is my Lois, so it's hard. It's hard. But it is what it is. I don't think she is Lois. She should stay on Grimm. I loved her as what was it, Juliet on Grimm. I loved Grimm. That was one of my favorite shows. I effing love that show. I love Trouble. Trouble was crazy. But yeah, her as Angelique, especially when she ended up. Oh, what was the name of it? Oh, she becomes. I forgot what the demon she becomes when they thought Juliet died and she actually became the demon that could shapeshift the same. Oh, it's gonna bother me. That what was her name? Adeline's race of demons. When she becomes Adeline's race of demon, I thought that was really cool. She did a really good job when they switched Juliet's role. Hex and Beast. Thank you, Ray. It's been such a long time. Hex and Beast. Freaking love that show. Let's see here. Let me move back up. I can't lie. Smallville did a better Justice League than the Arrowverse. I agree. I love their version of Legion. That was one of my favorites. I mean, I even liked their Wonder Twins episode. They you got to admit, they did bring in a lot of comic book characters. Like they had Booster Gold, they had Blue Beetle, they had Zatanna. That's so many people. They had Stargirl, they had the Justice Society of America. So many people from, the comics that we love, both Golden Age and beyond, that we never would have saw on any other show. Even to date, they have not brought back as many characters as Smallville has in terms of comics. They bring minor characters in, but not like characters that we are used to as heroes and, and other teams. And I really effing miss that. So I really hope that, we get to see that in somebody's show. I don't know. I think Stargirl is probably going to be the show that brings in more, because they've already said that we're going to get, the Barry Allen version that we're missing. So like we saw the Flash version in their version of Justice Society of America. And so we are actually getting that Flash, which is cool. Now I wonder though, if it's going to be the same Flash. I need to look up and see who it is, because I didn't look up to see who it was. I know who I want it to be, but I don't know if it's going to be him. So let me see. Flash season 2. I know we're talking about Batwoman, but I gotta do it. Because somebody told me it was gonna be Jesse Quick, and I want Jay Garrick to be it. And I think it is gonna be Jay Garrick. Okay, so that would be cool. Now, would that be pre-Crisis, alternate Jay Garrick? The Jay Garrick that I don't know. There's Crisis and the Infinite Earth just screwed up so much crap for me, so I don't really know which Flash we're talking about. There's so many versions of Flash, but if it's the Jay Garrick that's just her Earth's version, because I think they're Earth 2, that means that he has no relations whatsoever to Prime Earth. Then that would be cool. That would be cool. Wildcat is my girl. I hope Beth goes to Pearl Vision and gets her new girl. I hope so too. She is such a cute connection to Chuck. I loved her and Chuck. Yes, I understand that Dr. Midnight was an adult in the comics and she was a doctor. She's pretty much, honestly, Beth's mother in the Stargirl series is pretty much, to me, the actual Beth or Dr. Midnight. that we should have gotten in the comics. But again, they're not doing the comic book version. So, because, they weren't actually in JSA in the comics. So, but not originally. I hope it is John Wesley's ship. It is that they confirmed John Wesley's ship is coming. So that would be cool. So if he's coming as Jay Garrick, that would be cool. I just don't know what version we're getting. Are we going to get the version that we saw in, The Flash? Are we going to get Stargirl's Earth's version? Because again, they are not Prime Earth. They are still on their own Earth. So, which I'm okay with, stay on their own Earth. Sometimes I feel like Black Lightning is not on Prime, even though they're supposed to be. So stay on there. I feel like COVID made them all have separate Earths again. But I don't know. I am excited. I'm extremely excited because we're getting, my boy for Thunder. So I'm actually very, very cool because Jakeem being on that show. And they did name drop him in season 1 because I remember Mike was going to have a sleepover with him and then something happened and he didn't end up coming over. So he's going to find that pen. So we're getting Jakeem Thunder. I mean, they've already cast him. I'm very excited about it. They got the voice actor and everything for the pen and everything. So I'm cool. I have a theory. What if the Joker is actually alive by something with Crisis or Desert Rose and Bree comes back? Surprise, the Joker is alive since Luke tells Kate he killed him. I mean, what if Bruce is out there trying to find the Desert Rose to bring Joker back because he feels guilty for killing him? I mean, who knows? I don't think the Desert Rose can actually bring people back to life. I think it can just heal you. Beth's costume is problematic. She needs that fit. I agree. And speaking of Beth's, and I said this earlier, I'm so on the fence on Alice's redemption arc. Because that is, if it's true, and Sophia did 100% brainwash her into killing people, at least on a more sociopathic level, because we know that she was capable of killing before that, then mostly everything she did in Gotham was because of Sophia. That's a mess. Because she will have to atone for killing Mary's mother, every crime she's committed, even crimes her gang committed. She'll have to atone for all that crap. That is such an interesting storyline if they're going that route. I don't know if they are, but that would be really, it's just interesting to me. I find that there's so many probabilities, I think Bruce is too busy trying to stop evil Superman in Future Nightmares world with Joker and Mother Box. Well, I think that Mother Box is in Superman and Lois. I think that's how Captain Luthor, should I say, made that suit. I need better villains. Can Talia step through so we can have a League of Shadows? I think the problem is that they have to get licensed to stuff. And if it's something that DCEU is using, sometimes they don't let Arrowverse have it. So that's what I'm assuming is happening. So I'm surprised we're allowed to do anything, to be honest with you. Even having Bruce Wayne in, even though it was not really Bruce, and it was a whole hush situation, even having somebody portray Bruce Wayne is very interesting because I never thought we'd see that on Arrowverse. So yeah, I really want them to have Birds of Prey. I want them to bring in the Birds of Prey into the Arrowverse, even if it's just to do kind of like a guest episode appearance on, Batwoman, especially since Alice's actress used to be on Birds of Prey, the original, but actually recast it. So have Barbara Gordon, but this time have some of our key players, have the actual, Black Canary, or I guess Black Canary couldn't be on it because who I want to be on the team would be Lady Shiva. Like when Lady Shiva filled in for Black Canary, I would love to have Lady Shiva on that team because I think that would be absolutely amazing. Could you imagine Lady Shiva accurately done in Batwoman's universe? She'd be beating everybody's ass. Nobody. Nobody. Black Mask? Really? Really? I would love to have a Lady Shiva TV show or movie. If DCEU wants to do something, and DCEU can do this for me, they can make a Lady Shiva movie. Have it have a huge budget. Have it continuity in the actual universe of all of the other heroes. That would be effing A to me. I need Lady Shiva's movie. Somebody needs to make this happen for me. It won't, but I really want it. I think Sophia wants Sophia wants Alice to get her memories back, and that'll make her more like the comic book Alice, more crazier. True. I mean, but it will give her a conscience, and it will also make her have issues for everything that she did, because I'm in the comics, and remember, Sophia kidnaps Beth after they de-brainwash her, and make her a lot crazier when she's in Koyana. So, because a lot of people don't realize that Kate Kane and Sophia were girlfriends, like they were together. And in the comics, something happened, and it was kind of like the whole thing with Sarah. Remember in Arrow, where they were stranded on the boat, and then she gets stranded on an island basically, and she's trained by the League of Assassins. Where Kate Kane washes up on Koryana, and she's nursed back to health by Sophia, and then they become a couple. And she learns about the desert railroads there. But something happens, and I don't remember how she does it, but some people get infected from something that she had. And, instead of her being blamed for it, they blame somebody else. And then I think, I want to say that person got killed or something like that. And Kate felt guilty and left. And that's how she broke up with Sophia initially. And then, a lot of stuff happened. And then there's like a drug, and there's this drug that they have that, basically makes people into like these like animal type monsters. It's effing insane. It's like a venom drug. And that's when she meets up with Sophia again. So Kate Kane and Sophia have a long romantic and troubled, turbulent history together. And I don't know if they're going to have that. It would be really messed up if Kate Kane is with Sophia in a romantic way in this series, because that is a big twist to all of this. But it would be very damaging for Kate Kane's image with all of her Bat family. So I don't know. It'll be interesting though. Forget those Bed Bath and Beyond flowers aren't run on down the Lazarus and get the top shelf mystical restoring power thingy. You're crazy. I don't think this one Lex, but it's another Luther, because he definitely looked like more like Morris Chestnut to me. He did. I think Sophia went. Oh, we read that one. I'm scrolling up. Sorry. Make sure I get some more questions and comments. Okay. I think I might have actually read all those, so that's cool. For once, I'm actually caught up, guys. You have no idea. I hate scrolling this chat filled, because whenever I try to, it goes right back down, and I don't know why. But overall, though, what did you guys think of this episode? I liked it. I do agree that the fight scenes left a lot to be desired. And again, you already know my feelings on Sophie not taking a picture of that damn painting to this date. I mean, I don't understand why you don't do that. Everybody does this. We live on our phones. How did you not think to take it? What? How was that not even a concept to you to take a freaking picture on your phone, upload it to the cloud? So if something happened to said painting, you had the map. If it's this important, if you need this map more than anything, why did you not take a damn picture on your cell phone? Oh God. I was just cringing. I was like cringing. I'm like, really? I mean, you have technology that you can basically turn somebody's phone into a microphone, but you don't think to take a freaking picture on your cell phone of the map you need more than anything? No, I don't get that. Okay, so in real life, do you think Batman would work on our Earth? Like, how long would he last with our technology before he would be in Guatemala Bay? Well, if he was on our Earth dressed as a bat, they'd think he was a cosplayer. And then he just gets shot. Like, crazy cosplayer, smoking bath, or like inhaling bath salts. News at 11. He wouldn't last long. He would not last long. Not at all. But yeah, Kevin, there was no logic at all. They're doing this thing with certain characters on multiple shows in the CW universe, both Arrowverse and beyond, where they make people for some reason a lot less intelligent than they have been in the past. So That was a what the F moment for me. I was like, you have literally invalidated an entire season of intelligence, Sophie. Like, because yes, you were stupid with your romantic life, but you were on point to the fact where you even thought that Kate was Batwoman multiple times, but you can't remember to pull your damn phone out and say snap. I don't get that. Thank you. Why wouldn't she just let the map in the car? That was just stupid to me. I don't even need the map. If I take the picture with my phone, Ocean, you can keep the damn map. I don't need it. I got it. This is what I needed. The map, not the painting. I'm not going to hang the painting in my house. Once I get the map and we actually, I don't know, we take a digital camera, put it into the computer to locate where this island is, then we're going to toss the map any damn way. So then what was the point to grabbing the painting in the first damn place? Just throw Ocean your phone, hold the gun, say, take a picture. Toss it back. All right, we good. I'm out. Leave. You don't need the freaking painting. And every phone has some cloud storage, so it backs itself up, especially if you turn it on your phone. So why in the hell did you not do that? Oh, is she dumb? I don't like it. I don't like it when a sister's dumb. It just makes me feel invalidated as a person and a woman of color. I just feel like you just made me stupid for no reason. I think Ryan needs her unique rogues gallery, a villain, a personal connection, and not Alice. It's been done. Laugh out loud. Just give the girl her ability and call it the day. Give me like a poison ivy. They'd probably be banging. Like, besides, poison ivy is too busy with Harley. But no, I get that though. She should have a female villain. I mean, I thought Sophia was going to be her main villain, but heck, she's not even talking to Sophia. Sophia's dealing with Alice. It almost seems like it's more the Alice show right now than Ryan's show. Seeing Ryan hit the floor gave me life against Wolf Spider. I was like her auntie in the bat suit. Wolf Spider was interesting. I really hope we get more of Wolf Spider. I like Evan. I think adding him as a regular would be a very smart move, especially since he has a connection to Kate and he legit wants to help. So I think that having him do that, because it's comic accurate. Yeah, he's not doing it to find the money, some money for someone else, but he's actually trying to help the person that gave him the confidence to come out of the closet and gave him a purpose and made him feel like less of a freak at school. He has a connection to Kate in this universe in that way. And I think that's cool. So I really want him to come back. Now, will he? Who knows? Because again, they do things that I don't understand a lot of the time. I have to do a Nancy Drew review. The reason it's taken me so long to pump out these Nancy Drew reviews is because my head's spinning. It's like, why? There's so many questions that I keep getting in my head, and all of them are, why are they doing this? Why did they do that? Why are they doing this? And this just seems like a waste of time. So whenever I have like those moments in TV shows, it's why it's hard for me to do a review, because when I'm talking about it, it becomes a recap and not a full review like I try to do with all mine. And normally if I don't like something, I don't review it, and I'm trying to make myself do it. So it's a struggle with Nancy Drew. I don't dislike the show. I dislike parts of what's happening because they don't make sense to me. So it's not how it's just from a writing standpoint, it doesn't make sense. But, you know, it is what it is. He was fine with his contacts. I got to hook him up. That white vision look was not Itis. Not it. I like not Itis better, Ray. At this point, Alice and Ocean should have kept the map because that was just stupid. It was like she wanted it to happen. Well, hell, let's be clear. Apparently, Alice already knows how to get to her because she's like, I'll bring him to you. But how is Alice going to go to Coriana without the map? Unless she already has map. Or maybe, wait for it, maybe Alice already has a picture of the damn map. Because she's smarter than Sophie, apparently. But either way, they're going to Coriana. And Sophie just SOL. I really hope that Ruby Rose does a cameo, so we at least see her say goodbye to people or have some kind of closure. Because Yeah, they need to do that. It'd be stupid to have all this build up and not have her do that. And more than likely she will. That's probably how they let her out of her contract. You have to do one more appearance and then we'll let you go. So more than likely that is going to happen. She might do like a little 1 scene, 2 scene part in a future episode. Not sure, but you never know. It would make no sense not to. I swear, if they cop out with having like her behind a curtain saying, "Oh, you can't see me now," blah blah blah, but no, I'm safe, blah blah blah, I will like lose my mind. I will lose my mind. But I do. The whole storyline with Ocean and Alice is just fascinating. I'm really interested. Do you think Ruby Rose would come back after the way she quit? Yeah, I think it was mutual. I think Ruby Rose has bipolar disease. She has not been one to not disclose that. So having bipolar disorder and working 16-hour days, sometimes 6 days a week, is probably a lot when you have that kind of mental problem, like mental issues that you have to take medicine for and you can't control your mood. So I think it's just the filming schedule, I think, was just a mess for her. She couldn't handle it. Plus, she was away from home, living in a place where it snowed, and she's from Australia. And then, like, she moved to LA, and the weather in LA kind of mimics Australia. It's not really that cold. It's hot all the time. And then you're like, pretty much put in a situation where the weather is uncontrollable. They have very cold, winters. It rains a lot. I mean, for somebody with bipolar disease, Canada is probably not the best place to be in terms of controlling your mood. So I think that's the downfall. I think if they had shot that series in LA, she may not have left. She may have actually stuck it out because she could control her moods better there. But being stuck 9 months out of a year in a place that's with uncontrollable weather that you're not used to, I am affected by weather with my medical condition. So I can imagine being bipolar. I think there's a lot to that. I think she will do an episode because if it's in her contract, if they made her, if one of the stipulations that they came up with for her leaving this role, because there's a title role, right, that she was cast, she is the lead character in this series. For her to leave, she probably had to agree to help them make a clean exit. So since they didn't kill her off, I think that she probably will do a cameo appearance later on in the season. Please don't pull a Marisol behind the curtain thing. The Macy's still dealing with her issues mainly against male. Oh, yeah. I can't wait till our Charm talk tomorrow. I understand why you had to postpone the Charm stream, but I feel like Charmed and Batwoman being one stream would have been cool. I mean, it wouldn't have. I'm going to tell you why. Because we would have started talking about Charmed, and then by the time I got to Batwoman, it would have been 2.5 hours. I'm like, you guys are passionate when we talk about Charmed. We will talk about Charmed, theories about Charmed, rewriting Charmed. Then we will break down their hairstyles, what they wore today. I mean, you already know we will be in here for 2.5 hours. And we got to go to work tomorrow. I'm like, come on. Ruby about to get Catherine Hegel. I mean, isn't she doing another movie or something? I'm sure she'll be fine. She'll be fine. I think she's in the Triple X sequel again, or third Triple X or fourth Triple X at this point. How many there are? She's not hurting. I do think she's also dating Sarah's actress from Legends of Tomorrow, but that's Katie Lloyd. A lot of people have been saying that they've been staying together during COVID and stuff. So never know. So that gives her more inspiration to come down and visit. I haven't watched either episode yet. It airs on the CW app for me in like 10 minutes. Yeah, trust me. I have to watch it on the CW, not the app, on my Xfinity DVR. It'll roll over at midnight. I've only seen the first 10 minutes. So guys, tomorrow's stream is going to be on point. But I don't want to half-ass a review. If I was to talk about, like, I already said 2 things, and I don't want to say it again now that I know that some people haven't watched it. But I don't want to, like, stress all the points in my Batwoman review that I'm going to stress in my Charm review, because I like to focus, I don't mind talking about other subjects, obviously, but I like to focus a little bit more on the content that, we're talking about versus me just going into another review that I'm just going to talk about again tomorrow. So it's a lot easier. And plus, I like having that whole open forum to talk about that episode that we watch, because we get passionate in this channel. Like, we talk about some stuff. And I know tomorrow, once I watch this episode, I already got 2 things to talk about. I already found 2 nitpicks already. I think I'm going to have a lot more. So love the series, but I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it, guys. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. Pretty extra 345 and exit a triple X is her character arc. Okay. Is it really? You have to tell me a little bit more, because I actually have seen her in that movie. I didn't realize her role was that big, because I know that her and the chick that played Elena from Vampire Diaries were in that movie. Let's see. Sorry, trying to scroll up a little bit. Can Wolf Spider get a suit upgrade and like be the Catwoman to her Batwoman? I mean, there is some mechanical parts with the pair that don't work, but this 2021, and they can be a thing. I like you, Ray. That would be cool. It would be cool if Wolf Spider was Batwoman's sidekick, because technically she's a brand new character. She could have whatever. Now, what do you think about her and Mary getting together? I really want to know. Like, I want to know what you think of that. Like, do you think that's possibly a thing? Because I really want them to be at the least BFFs. But I'm queer, so I'm always looking for queer content. I'm not trying to push it on anybody. But to be fair, they never established what Mary's actual preference was. I don't think I have ever seen her date anyone. She had a boyfriend that did something to her in high school, but that means nothing. It just means nothing. Because I love women and I love men, and I am married to a transgender person. I have been married to men before, and I've dated women. So it means nothing. But I don't know if Mary is not like a potential love interest. I do want her to be like the whole Alex and Kara situation and Supergirl, because that's one of the things I did like, is how close they were. I would love for them to both be super important to each other, because they don't seem to be important to anybody else. Does that make sense? Like I said this earlier, if you've been here since the beginning of the stream, Mary being so alone, having her mother work all the time, having her adopted father pay more attention to his daughters and the Crows than her, feeling like basically feeling invisible. And then you got Ryan, who was an orphan, who finally gets noticed by her mother, only to have her mother be killed by Alice's gang, feeling alone, feeling like her girlfriend was the only one who knew her. I feel like those two should bond more, because they are so alike. They definitely come from different economic brackets, but they are so alike in every other way. So I feel like they would be BFFs, if not, more. And I really want them to be BFFs. I really hate that Mary and her are roommates, and they've only been in the apartment together in one episode. It's like, because it's like Angelique's always at, their apartment, and Mary's never there, or Ryan's always at Angelique's place and not around Mary. So it's like stupid to me. So I just wondered what you guys thought about that with the whole Ryan and Mary relationship thing. Her preference is attention, because her family have given her none. I agree with that. Let me move up a little bit. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure I get all of these. Did you check out Punky Brewster, the sequel, yet on Peacock? I have not, because I had rehearsal. I'm actually in a scene from one of my acting classes, so I've been doing a lot of Zoom rehearsals. So, but I do plan on doing it. Looking forward to your charm review later today, though, Kevin. It's gonna be fun. I think Kate owes the fans a goodbye that is proper, and to officially pass the crown to Ryan, she needs to just write her go away message in lipstick before she sashays away. Can't she just make Miss Maggie her exit? Kate, be graceful. I mean, she needs to. Kobe, you said no. Are you talking about Mary? What are you talking about? What is that? What does that know? Okay. People are up in arms about Superman being rebooted as Black, but I'm surprised there haven't been complaints about the new Latina Superman. So I'm behind on nerd news. Are they remaking Man of Steel? Because I don't understand where all that's coming from. Oh, they are. Okay, so is it Calvin Ellis? Because Calvin was black. Or is it? Are they actually having a black Clark Kent? Explain this to me. I need to know. How the heck she's running a whole black market clinic, socialite, and family, and no one notices a thing because they don't pay attention to her. like, it's pretty obvious. I mean, her mother knew because she had her followed, but nobody's paying attention to Mary. Nobody. Well, hell, even in first season, you go back and watch the first season, Kate didn't know what Mary was doing. I want Mary with Luke. I did, but I mean, they kind of are more like brother and sister to me right now. It's very strange. Like, I don't know. And Luke, honestly, is acting a lot like Mr. Terrific. So I'm hoping, they get his character together. I mean, he might be Mr. We don't know what his preference is either, because we don't know if Luke's ever dated anybody. These are two people that don't seem to have relationships, or at least past romantic interests, because no one's focused on them. So it's interesting. I mean, they were kind of trying to make it seem like he was staring at Ryan, but I think I don't know if Ryan's playing bisexual or lesbian. I think she's lesbian in this. Latina Wonder Woman is everything. Yeah. Future State is kind of all over the place for me, but they have some pretty good characters. I got to give them that. But the stories are just, some are good and some are like, what is happening? Also, I'm surprised you didn't know about the revival after, but better late than never. Yeah, I usually am up to date on my news, but I think I told you guys in my last stream about my day job, and it is killing me. So I've not had a chance to follow up on my nerd news, but I'm getting there. Awesome. Oh, yes, most likely either one. Not much is known about it. Okay. Just use Icon and help us prevent another insurrection. People lose their kids when we see representation from marginalized communities. Icon would be cool. But see, this is my problem. I get excited for stuff and it doesn't happen, like Blue Marvel not being the physicist that was mentioned in WandaVision. So like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Because I mean, at the end of the day, even though I think I just read that Abrams is doing this, I have no faith. I'm like, I don't have any faith. He didn't do a bad job with the Star Trek reboot for the most part, but I have no faith. Let's see. Luke came with an extra part that Ryan don't want. I mean, when Supergirl ends, I hope Nia and our Brainy join Legends. I heard that Nia's actress was, but I'm gonna be real with you. What if they cancel Legends of Tomorrow? That is absolutely a possibility. They seem to be popping shows off left and right. Return to Assembly, then Holman. I hope they do a Calvin Ellis or a Val Zod movie. That would be cool. I think having Calvin Ellis would be really cool. It would be very, very cool. I would love to see an Icon movie, but apparently there are legal issues or something. Yeah. There are legal issues. I think there's legal issues around Milestone and a bunch of, I know Milestone's going to be releasing or has started releasing. I haven't been following it, comics, but I have a feeling that it's not just the comics and the brands themselves, it's individual characters, like how they can't have Batman on Arrowverse. They can have reference of him. They can have Bruce Wayne, but they can't have Batman. The same used to be true back in the day with Clark Kent and Superman. You could have, Clark Kent, you can have Superman and vice versa. So lots of legal copyright issues. Is Harry Cavill available? He can join the MCU as Wonder Man or appear in. I think he already is going to be Captain Britain in MCU or something major, like he's a top contender for that part. That's so sad, though. I feel bad for him. He's losing his role. But okay, so what does this mean for Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman? Are they just going to revamp everybody? Oh, DCE, what are you doing? I am down for a Black Superman, but I feel like there's another way to do this. Like, this is their fault for trying to pull off the New 52. I'm done with them. I I mean, JJ isn't doing it alone, so someone will be there to keep him in check. No, is it Nahisi? Nahisi is great. Okay. I feel like Mary and Luke should get together, and Ryan just needs to focus on being Batwoman before getting a relationship and learning about her to have to go and fight like Kate in season 1. That's fair. Black Lightning needs to do a static cameo before it ends and pass the torch. That would be cool. I think he just got fired. Who just got fired? Henry Cavill got fired? Let's see. No, it's more likely just Superman but I ship Ryan and Luke. Now, I will say the Abrams movie may not be in the DCEU continuity. That's the thing about DC that I don't like. They do all these individual, like they have a Joker movie, and they have the Suicide Squad, and they have a Birds of Prey, which is really a Harley Quinn movie, but then they don't seem to connect them with each other. So then they end up making zero sense. So it's stupid. That's the one thing that Marvel did or MCU did coming out swinging. They interconnected these movies, and whether you liked everything about them or not, they were connected, and they one thing leads to another, and yada yada. So DC has a long way to go to fix this. Now, if they do Flashpoint and it retcons the entire DCEU universe, which honestly, what are we really gonna miss? Let's be fair. What will really be retconned by the DCEU Flashpoint movie? Because nothing is really a continuity, or at least connected continuity for us to begin with. So we couldn't even have a Crisis on Infinite Earth because it was in crisis before that. So DCEU is effed up. They have good characters. They have good movies. They have what the hell movies, but they are not connected. And that is a problem that I have. So I need them to figure that out. And they really need to retcon Ezra Miller because I do not like him as Barry Allen. But I digress. There was something a few years back about Jaden Smith being static shot for a web series, but it was probably scrapped. Yeah. I wonder how old he is now. They're probably going to want him pretty young, like maybe 13. I think Virgil was 13, wasn't he, when he started in the comics? 13 years old. I will have to go back and look at that. Snyder Cut is going to be the canon, and Whedon's version is out. Whedon's version should have never been on the screen to begin with. They'll probably retcon him in. I am looking forward to the Snyder Cut. I did not care for Justice League. I will say, though, they did have some very cool fight scenes. But the problem that I have with Justice League is, like, when we had the Avengers, they all got together, in a very interesting way. And to be fair, it was not a perfect movie because there were absolute plot holes. Like, to this day, we never really figured out how Thor got back to Earth. You don't go see your woman, but you got back to Earth, just in time to do the Avengers movie. Doesn't matter how you got there. You're there. There's all these little plot holes. But at the end of the day, it still was a really sweet movie to watch. So we forgave all that crap. And then when they did the Defenders individual series on Netflix, they tied into that. And so did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So not only did we have the movies, we had the TV and Netflix series that are accompanying the actual MCU. And now we have Disney Plus. So they've always had a plan. But see, in DCEU, they don't do that. They just don't do that. So we had Justice League movie with people, they were randomly meeting like that moment. It's like, oh, you're the Flash. I need you. How the hell did you... I know in Batman versus Superman, Bruce Wayne was like researching all these metahumans, basically. But still, what put these people on your radar? They gave some asinine excuse. It did not make any sense to me. The Batman versus Superman movie was trash to me anyway. It was just completely stupid. Yeah. If they retcon it and they have Calvin Ellis, which I think would be awesome as Superman, and they want to go ahead and they bring in, you can bring in people from Future State, even though I don't know what they're going to do with Future State now that they're going to be releasing another comic series that's going to make that completely invalid. But I just need them to pick up their game because they have really good characters in DC. They have very good characters, but it makes them look stupid when they don't utilize them correctly in live action form. So I'm over here. I told you guys I'd be jumping on that soapbox. I don't mean to, but I mean, it is what it is. It really is. Let's see. DC is like the first season of Lost because that's where I am lost. I mean, heck, I can't even say I was lost. I was never there. Isaac Ryan Brown would be a great Static Shock. He is 14 and he is great on a Ravens home. He has the chops. Is he he's the one that plays, what is his name? Naya's brother. Is her name Naya, Raven's daughter? He's one of the twins, right? I forgot their names. But Darkseid is ugly. I think the cinematic should be able to do better than television. They need the WandaVision producers for help. Then they just need a very good studio. That's what they need. It doesn't have to be WandaVision. They just need a good studio. Good night, Maria. Love the live stream. Good night, Kevin. We're only going to be on for a couple of more minutes. So, because I need to go to sleep too, because, work comes early. And then I want to be able to do my Charmed review on my lunch break, which I'm going to take a little early tomorrow. Okay, just making sure I'm answering some of the others. There's something a few years back. I read that one. Sorry. Going back. Didn't know you watched it. That's dope. Yes, I do. I watch all kinds of stuff. Like all kinds. I watched the original That's So Raven, and I watched Raven's Home. I think MJ from Legacies looks the part and has the hair for Static. I could see that. But I don't know if they want to go that old. I mean, I know he's not old, but isn't he like in his early 20s in real life? I have to look up his age. Let's see. The Buffy cast are coming out against Joss Whedon. I wonder why the Avengers cast haven't said anything unless they got lucky. I wonder. Maybe they signed a non-disclosure. They're not allowed to. Any other newer Disney Channel shows you watch? All kinds. And I will tell you, as from Disney movies, I already have Raya and the Last Dragon on my queue. I am super excited. And yes, I will be reviewing the hell out of that movie. I am a Legends of Avatar, last Avatar, and I am a very big Korra fan. You probably know this because I have the wonderful pop dolls. I have a Sami doll and I have Korra doll. I know most people don't like Korra, but I do. So it is what it is. But yeah, so I will be watching Raya and the Last Dragon. I love the trailer. I am super excited for it. So I really cannot wait to see that movie. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I like all kinds. I've been watching Disney and Nickelodeon shows for a very long time. I used to watch Henry Danger. I haven't watched Danger. I think it's called Danger Academy. I haven't watched that. So yeah, I like Disney stuff. I like a cornucopia of things. That's why I have a nerd show, so I can talk about all this stuff. I will be also doing my Fate Winx Saga video. Everything goes right tomorrow, so I'm going to try and have that posted. I wanted to do it today, but my rehearsal ran late, so I'm going to have it tomorrow. But that's not going to be a live stream. That's going to be my normal content, so I will be doing that. Danger Force, I love it. So you like that show? Okay. I really liked Henry Danger a lot, so that makes sense. But yeah. So final thoughts on this episode, because I know we got off a little bit because we normally get off in our comments. Everything would have been fine had Sophie just taken a cell phone, shot of the map. That is our overall theme of this series, of this episode. It's blame Sophie, like Sophie's fault. Do you like Fate so far? I actually did enjoy Fate. So that's my little spoiler for you. I know you worried about how I nitpick things, Madness. I got your little memo. I have questions about it, but I did overall enjoy it, even though I do agree that it was very controversial to whitewash Musa and change Flora to Tara. And even though Tara name dropped Flora as her cousin, that was a thing. But what I did was I separated it. I made it its own thing. And then I was able to enjoy it a lot more because the plot and the writing was great. It was just that whole controversy of them whitewashing the cast, which essentially they did. Even though I don't think Musa is actually fully white, I do think she has Asian in her. I think she's mixed like me. But they didn't put an Asian in that role. And that traditionally is Musa was Asian. So that was a problem. And then Tara is not even technically a character. I mean, she is, but she's not. So, but I enjoyed them for the story that I separated. So I made it into multiple worlds, and I'll talk more about that in my review. But I basically made it so it was a different Earth with a different Wings cast, a different Ring story, and that's how I had to do that. Okay, I wonder if they will use the GCPD and end the Crows since it has more for Kate because her father. Huh. I mean, technically the Crows are just like security for hire, so maybe. And they need to have the GCPD because then we'll get Renee. And I think that would be cool. Renee Montoya or Maggie. I want to wrap these storylines. Kate needs to stay dead. The poison needs to either bring Arrowverse characters in or be resolved. And Ryan really needs to find her power. I need her to take the mantle. She needs to take the mantle and stop telling people that she needs to take the mantle. And she needs to stop bitching it to Luke and them about a bat team that they are just forming because they aren't that close because they've only been around each other for a month. And so, I mean, don't get mad at Mary about trusting you when she gave you somewhere to live and gave you a job. I'm just saying. And lied to a parole officer for you. It's not her fault. So I did not like last episode where she basically said, you two need to listen to me. And I'm like, no, I really don't. And with Luke, as far as Luke's concerned, Ryan needs to respect him more because honestly, I understand that you feel like he doesn't trust you to the level of Kate, but he didn't trust Kate at first either. And also, let's be real. If Luke is not at that computer, they're screwed. So there's that. So they all need to figure out their roles in each other's lives and find importance in each other. Because if not, they are going to go down very quickly. And that's going to be really, really sad because I am enjoying this cast and I do like Ryan as a character. I need Ryan to practice her landings. A bat person should not land on their face chasing a bad guy. Well, to be fair, she is poison though. So I'm going to give her that. So if she starts doing that after the kryptonite poisoning, then I'm going to be with you on that. But for now, it did establish that she's in pain a lot because of that, the poisonings and the bacterial infection from the kryptonite. So I'm glad she's able to fight it all at this point because I don't know how she's doing it. I don't. So, but all right, guys, we are an hour and a half. It was awesome. I'm very happy to have you guys here. Sorry for the late stream. But yeah, we got off topic again. We do that in my comments, but I'm pretty laid back, so it's all good. But Batwoman season 2, episode 6, pretty good episode. It's Sophie's fault. If you take anything away from this stream, it's Sophie's fault. She should have took a damn picture of the damn map. Outside of that, I'm looking forward to episode 7, and I want to know what you guys think. And remember, this is going to go away, guys. The whole chat will go away once it processes to the channel. So please make sure you continue the discussion below in the comments. So if you have any other comments, ideas, or theories for what's going to happen in the rest of the season, I would love to know it. What other characters you think will be beneficial in Ryan's life or detrimental to Gotham as a whole. I would love to. And besides Black Mask, I would love to know who you want to be in the Gotham universe. I love, Ray, that you just said Sophie's Choice because I love that movie with Meryl Streep and it's one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen in my life. So Sophie's Choice. Definitely she messed that up though. Sophie should have taken a picture of that painting. But yeah, I love you guys. I am going to sleep and please, if you have requests that you want me to do video-wise too, put it below because again, I am going to be doing memberships and I am going to be doing a Patreon sometime soon and I have time to fix all of that up. And I would love to know what content you would like besides Charmed. If you want more comic book content, if you want more movie reviews, just let me know what you want so I can put that on the list so I can figure all that out. But yeah, I am going to bed. I love you. And I will see you for the Charmed review tomorrow if you're able to be up at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time so we can talk about Charmed.